Let's unbox the brand new convention-exclusive Funko Pop vinyl figure of Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader. Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it. Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. I'm really excited. During my shopping trip to search for Star Wars toys today, I was able to get my hands on the brand new convention-exclusive Funko Pop vinyl of Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader. Of course, this one was released for New York Comic Con, which is kicking off in the United States. Now, for us international fans, of course, as much as I would love to attend conventions in the United States as often as I could, sadly, I can't. But I really love the fact that Funko is aware that international fans really want to get their hands on these same figures, so they release them internationally through standard Funko retailers, but with a little bit of a difference. We have a different packaging sticker on the front, and personally for me, I don't mind. I don't need a convention exclusive sticker. My one reads Fall Convention Limited Edition there rather than New York Comic Con, but apart from the sticker, I really just want the figure in a side, so I'm really happy to get my hands on it. This one hit store shelves today here in New Zealand, just as the convention is kicking off in the United States. So really cool for international fans to grab this at the same time as American fans. Love that from Funko. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Coming up really soon, I'll take the figure out of the packaging so we can take a closer look at all of the cool details. But first, let's take one last look at the packaging. Of course, for a singular Funko character, we have the iconic standard figure Funko packaging here. The boxes are the same size. I love lining them all up. Just fantastic. Really makes it easy to plan out your displays as well with this very consistent packaging style. We have a black border across the top and down the left with a little bit of a starry sky print there behind it. Now for the top Star Wars logo, it's actually a yellow outline logo there, and we have a yellow circle for the number 731. We have a really nice preview image here of Kylo Ren down the side with his mask on and his hood up, and we can see just the lightsaber there in the corner. We have a yellow bar here for the title name, Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader, and underneath a red bar there for the bobblehead text there. Now you can see my special convention exclusive sticker here. So this one reads Funko 2024 Fall Convention Limited Edition, and because it's New York Comic Con, we have sort of a Funko stylized image of the Statue of Liberty, obviously iconic for New York. Now we have a QR code here to the side. Now, if you look at the one on yours, it will take you through to an authentication page on a Funko website where you're able to authenticate it, and then once you've done that, it just takes you through to a Funko website where you can purchase more Funko. I really like the lenticular parallax effect here on the sticker. Most of my other sort of convention exclusive stickers are just a flat sticker. They're really upping the game with the authenticity here. So you can see that sort of Funko crown design in the background. It looks kind of recessed. It's a really fun effect there, and it kind of moves around. It really sort of adds a little bit of bling to the front of the box there. And of course, we've got a lovely clear window here. Kylo's a little bit dark. Of course, he wears mostly black, but we can see that strong silver there on his mask, and I can also see the red lightsaber there in the back. I think that's the first order logo there in the back, but when we open it, we can check that out a little bit more closer in detail. We can see that that window comes around to the side there. We also have text on the side, Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader. We have the number there and a little bit of a preview there of his mask and his hood there. And we also have the Pop logo there at the top. Coming round to the back, because this is a convention exclusive, it's not part of a wave of series of figures, so we don't have any other preview images here. We just have that yellow line art logo there, and we have the name Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader, against a black starry background there. We have that sort of preview image of the Funko design sort of cut off there on the side, the logo and the number. I like the red border. It feels very appropriate for Kylo, being so strongly black and red ties in really well for him. Now the side, we get here our full proper image here, head to toe, of the design. I really like the sort of the cape part coming here in the back. I like the pose with the lightsaber, but because it's so dark, I think this one's going to read differently once we can sort of see the 3D details of of the actual figure out of the box. Even here, I can barely make out any of the details. It just looks a lot black. Just, of course, that silver mask detail coming through strongly there. And again, the black starry background and the red border there. We've got the name, the number, and the Pop logo there. And lastly, just that little preview image there of that iconic silver trim on his helmet there on the preview at the top. Very easy to spot. And of course, the underside's just barcode, copyright text, all of that kind of stuff. Overall, really cool. Love the colors on this. You know, yellow is so iconic for Star Wars logos. And of course, red and black works perfectly for Kylo. But because it's a little bit dark in the box, let's get him out so we can take a closer look. Like usual, I'm going to carefully open up the box from the underside, just because sometimes you get a little bit of a wrinkle on one of the cardboard flaps when you open them. Really want to keep this box nice, of course, being a convention exclusive. So let's slide that tray out. And I want to look at that insert because it did look a bit dark in behind the figure. Okay, so that is the insert card. It's actually quite yellow. It was hard to see behind the figure with the First Order logo there printed in a dark grey. That's actually kind of fun there. I'm just going to pop that one back in the box. So let's get Kylo out of the clear plastic trays. Okay, wow, there's a lot of texture going on here. Wow, okay, definitely looks really cool once I get them out of the packaging so I can really appreciate all of the black on black detail. There's a lot to go over. So let's clear this packaging out of the way so we can go over all of this fantastic detail. I know some Funko collectors are die-hard keep in the box fans, but I do think for such a dark figure, this one really does shine better outside of the box. Sometimes I know I'm a little bit anxious about taking out convention exclusives from the packaging, but I am seeing so much detail that was just sadly hidden inside the box. I'm so happy to get this one out. So I'm going to bring it up close so we can see all of this fantastic detail. So of course, we've got the iconic Funko base here, the black with the tears and the Star Wars logo here on the front. Of course, not all Funko figures have a base, but the Star Wars ones do. Originally, they were attached with pegs, but now they are fixed, so the figure does not come off the base. You can see the text there on the underside there. Nice printing here on the logo. Sometimes it can be a little bit high, sometimes you have some small scratches, but something, of course, I really look for is, especially with convention exclusives, you want everything to be as nice as possible because you don't really have the opportunity to ever buy a second one. So you really cross your fingers that you don't have any kind of major flaws that sort of knock it down a peg or two. So because he wears mostly black, there isn't as much painting detail to look at. We've got a couple of major details. We've got the silver trim here on his helmet, and we have the translucent red of the lightsaber blades. I'm just having a quick little look, and I don't think we have any other painted details. It is just full black all over. So I'm going to start off with the helmet. So there was one of these on the shelf for my local Funko stockist. So this one was it. And I'm happy to see that the silver on the trim of the helmet looks really nice. This has got so many lines. So if it was really sort of off in any way, it would really draw the eye because of course we've got this very even spacing between all the lines. Your eye can pick up really small differences. So if there was a little bit of a wobble with any of these lines, it would really show up. But this looks really nice. Of course, we've got this sort of slightly more organic design here on the cheeks coming up to these sort of black and silver lines around the top there. Some really nice design. Such an iconic helmet, of course. I like that. I like the way that it kind of tucks in under this hood as well. And of course, these Star Wars Funko Pop vinyl figures are bobble heads. I know, again, some of the other Funko Pop vinyl ranges are not bobble heads. They are fixed, but the Star Wars ones bobble. And personally, I like the bobble effect. It just sort of adds a little bit of something extra. I like that the Star Wars ones are bobble heads. So I really like the pose on this one. It's really dynamic. So we've kind of got a wide-legged stance. He's got his arms off to his right side, holding his lit lightsaber. And we've even got a bit of a flowing moment here with his sort of shawl, his cape flowing off to the side here, and also his lower robes flowing there as well. We can kind of see those tattered edges there. We've got some holes showing through. We've got a sort of a little bit of a jagged edge. And of course, he has some tatters around that top shawl piece there as well. Now, what I really like characters that are all black, like Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, things like that, Palpatine, we really do get some detail coming in with the textures, and that was something that was a little bit lost in the packaging. The textures of Kylo's cloak, his hood and robes is very distinctive, and I love just how textured this Funko is. You can see the fabric texture here. That is really nice all over the hood. We can see that we've sort of got a bit of a seam of the hood coming up to the peak there in the back, but we've got this fantastic all over pattern there, which of course, as it should be, is different to some of the other fabric textures down here. Of course, we've got a reduced scale as well because the heads are oversized compared to the bodies, but I love the flow of the robes here. It just looks like he's in movement. That's really, really nice because of course Funko vinyl figures, they are fixed. They're not posable. You can't sort of move the arms or anything like that. So I really like when we have a dynamic pose. When I think back to some of those really sort of original series Funkos where they just had their hands down by their sides, their legs spaced apart, we're getting some really cool poses now as they have to come up with variations to make them different to earlier versions. And this is a really fun pose. It's so sort of aggressive, especially because he's fully masked up with his hood up. Really fun. And of course, we've got his unstable red blade here, this fantastic translucent red plastic there. You can kind of see sort of the rippled texture to kind of give it that unstable nature. Of course, his lightsaber is a bit fiery and a bit different to other lightsabers that we see in the Star Wars saga films. Of course, we've got his cross blades there. We've got a little bit, one tiny bit of painting here. We've got the dark metallic silver just on the exposed part of the hilt there at the crossblade, and a little bit here at the end of the hilt just tucked in there with his hand. Again, very nice paint job. It's not spilling onto the hands or even onto the blades. Nice and tidy there. Of course, we've got gloss here for the gloves, and we can see we've got a matte black finish there for his tunic sleeves there, those ribbed tunic sleeves. We can see that we've got matte finish there for the pants, gloss for the boots, a little bit of the sort of under tunic showing here, and then we've got this textured tunic. I love the textures here. Something I really appreciate with Funko Pop vinyl Star Wars figures is the amount of detail, the costume detail that they actually managed to put in here, because they are on the whole very stylized, especially around the eyes and the face like that. I wouldn't hold it against Funko to stylize and simplify down Star Wars costumes when replicating them for the figures. But honestly, I'm really impressed with just how accurate they are for the costume details. Sometimes they actually make quite good costume references for costumers. I can think of some others from different movies where the back of characters has actually given detail that is not really visible on screen. So sometimes the back of them really shows us some interesting detail that is very hard to see on screen. We can see the gloss of his wide belt coming in there in the back. I'm just really, really admiring the textures here on these flowing robes and just the sort of the pose, the action flow, the movement that is being sort of indicated here with this pose. Such a far cry from those very early Funko designs. Really cool. Such a perfect way to do a convention exclusive. Take a character that's already been done multiple times, so fans that really like the character aren't completely missing out if they can't get their hands on a convention exclusive. I like convention exclusives to be variations, something slightly different to a character that is already widely available. So if you can't get your hands on it, you can already get Kylo in many different forms. He's been done several different times, of course, from the 3 sequel films. So if you are a Kylo fan, of course, this one is going to be up the top of your list. But if you just want to have a representation of each Star Wars character, you don't need this one if you already have a Kylo one in your collection. But personally, this is one of my favorites. I really love the detail on this one and the pose. I mean, if you don't have a Funko Kylo in your collection and you're looking for a cool one to add, this one is really cool. Here in New Zealand, this one retails for just a few dollars more than a standard Funko, but that is par for the course for those convention exclusives. But again, much, much cheaper than for me to fly to the States and try and attend a convention and get my hands on those Funko figures that are highly sought after. So I don't mind spending about $3 or $4 extra just to have them here in New Zealand. This is really cool. I love the bobblehead. The painting looks great. Because he's so black, I'm really happy that I don't see any glue spill around the boots here as well. Sometimes there's a little bit of clear glue spillage around the feet where they attach it to the base, but because everything's so gloss black, I think it would kind of catch the eye a little bit, but that looks really clean, nice and secure, and that pose, just fantastic. It looks like he's swishing, especially when his head's bobbling. It just gives it a movement that I really like. Oh, this is really cool. I was so happy I was able to get my hands on this one. It's a brand new convention exclusive. Sometimes we don't get sort of a long lead in. We don't really know what the convention exclusive is going to be until a little bit closer in. So I was really excited to see that yet again, Funko had a Star Wars character in their convention exclusive lineup, and it was available in New Zealand. Really cool. I'm just admiring the pose on this one. It's just really cool, and I love just those little sort of costume details, like the little holes in the tunic there. You can see that one there at the front, and we can just, I like the fact that the cape from behind is swishing across the shoulders, so we can see that from the front. Really gives it a little bit of movement there without even sort of having to see it from the back, because of course we're going to display our Funko figures facing forward, so I like being able to see a little bit of that movement costume detail coming in there. And of course that unstable sort of angry jaggedy lightsaber being wielded there in the front. Really cool. Wow, this one's really cool. I know not particularly necessary if you already have a few Kylo Ren figures in your collection, but if you are a fan of the character or you just really enjoy convention exclusives, this one is great. I'm really happy to have this one in my collection, and he's just really cool. It's kind of funny when they look, it's sort of cute and angry at the same time. It always makes me laugh when I see particularly General Grievous. There's just something really cute and funny about the General Grievous in Funko Pop vinyl form. He looks sort of cute and angry, and I think this one's kind of giving me the same vibes. It's kind of interesting. It's one of those rare examples where we don't have the circular Funko eyes, of course, because he's got a mask, so it gives it a very different look in the face, because we don't have those completely circular round eyes. We've got the stylized sort of shape there for the lenses of Kylo's helmet. So it's a really fun look to it, and I just like how clear that mask is at the front. We've got the nice big hood and just that fantastic texture. We've got sort of the textures of the fabric. We've got matte and gloss finishes. It really does help bring out all of the different details because it's pretty much all black. And of course, I think personally for me, it looks much better out of the box just with the extra light and sort of more of a 3D look around all angles, that I can really appreciate all the details here. I know many fans don't like to remove their collectibles, especially if they are convention exclusives, but of course Funko Pop vinyl boxes are one of those few where you can generally get them back in without too much trouble. It's very different to say some of those Hasbro ones where sometimes you have to cut a few things to get them out. So I'll have this one out on display for the meanwhile, because I think this is the best way to display it for me personally. I think he looks really cool. Really happy about this one. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I opened up another Star Wars collectible, checked out the cool details, and had a lot of fun. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again really soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you're a Funko Pop vinyl fan, I recently unboxed and compared 2 different Grand Admiral Thrawn figures. That video is linked here in case you haven't already seen it, as well as a whole Funko unboxing playlist. This is the way.